Shalom and welcome to day 38 of Counting the Omer. This is the Rabbi's blog coming from Adat Yeshua in Norwich. Greetings to you wherever you're listening or watching around the world. It's a pleasure to have you hooking into these daily blogs, and hope that thoughts will stimulate your own minds and spirits to dig deeper into the Lord as well. And today, really, I'm reminded of a article really that I read in the Time magazine, about 10 years ago now, I suppose it was, and they were listing their 10 ideas that were going to change the world. I think the Time magazine does this fairly regularly, and one of the 10, in fact I think it was the last one, I think it was the 10th possibly, of ideas that were going to change the world was this: the Jewishness of Jesus, Yeshua. And it was listed, and it was there were a few comments around it and just a few ideas of how certain people, researchers, academics, ministers, were beginning to make these claims and to work out some of the implications and so on of it. But I love the way the Time magazine put this in there as an idea that was going to change the world. I would hardly agree. I don't think it could be any more accurate than that. I think I wouldn't put it in as number 10. I would have put it in as number 1, possibly, on that list of ideas that was going to change the world. You know, when an idea comes that is so powerful as this, everything changes. It's a paradigmatic shift. Everything, the foundations of our understanding, of our faith, and everything begins to change at that point. The moment we start saying that Yeshua is Jewish, was born a Jew, lived a Jew, died a Jew, rose from the dead a Jew, taught nothing other than Judaism during his life, stayed within Israel ministering to his own people all his life. The moment we begin to accept that and apply it in, in a bigger way, and the implications of that become clear, then we begin to understand nothing can ever be the same again. Everything changes at that point. If Yeshua is a Jew, not just Jewish, he's a Jew. In fact, he's the Messiah, the Jewish Messiah of Israel and of Judaism, as he was expected to be. And it's the implications of this which I think are fascinating and will literally change the world. Obviously, this is a truth which has been resisted by rabbinic Judaism, orthodoxy, although many academics are beginning to repatriate Yeshua back into the fold now and explain how he functioned as a rabbi in the first century in that way. But it's a very slow repatriation process. It's not filtered down to the rank and file within the Jewish community. There's still strong resistance to that concept because, of course, if he is the Jewish Messiah, if he is a Jew, it changes everything again for rabbinic Judaism, for orthodoxy today. To actually have to take into account his teachings as Jewish teachings would be absolutely foundation rocking. Equally for the church, what do they do with this information? If Yeshua is not the first Christian, and he's not, if Yeshua didn't set up Christianity, and he didn't, then it begs all kinds of questions. How do we interact with this Jewish man of the first century? We know he lived, he died, he rose again. But how do we interact with that? And what are the implications for all of that? And when Yeshua gave the Great Commission at the end of his life, said, go out into all the world and teach the nations what I have taught you. He was talking about the Judaism that he was telling and teaching to his followers at the time in Israel. He wasn't saying go and set up a new religion. That means that everything that happened since, our understanding of the ingathering of the Gentiles and the nations, must be rooted in Judaism itself and nowhere else. This is truly groundbreaking when you understand it. The time has come to radically reappraise everything that we've understood so far. I know that it is fearful for many people to do this. The status of many is called into doubt, and empires rock on such knowledge when they begin to understand it. But we must face up to this reality if we're going to seriously see the implications of all of this. This is why Messianic Judaism is in brackets, Judaism. It has to be. It can't be anything else. And today we ask the question, of course, rather than what many people in the church often do, what do we do with Jewish people who believe? In the first century, they were asking, what do we do with the Gentiles who believe? Because they were incorporated into Judaism too. We're still grappling with the issues around this, even today in Messianic Judaism. But let there be not any question of this. Messianic Judaism is a Judaism. It is not a subspecies of Christianity. It is something very, very different, or at least it should be. The future is a Jewish future. As I've hinted at before, it's Jewish universalism, the ingathering of the nations to the living God of Israel and to the Jewish Messiah. Yes, the time has come to embrace the idea that Yeshua is a Jew, and everything changes. Everything changes at that point. Thank you for listening to me today in this short blog, and I will see you again tomorrow. Toda rabba, litrot.